It's a matter of immense pride for us that we have emerged as the first university in the country to conduct open book examinations in accordance with the Ministry of Education's instructions of keeping the safety and health of the students as the topmost priority.
The first anthropologist to become Pro-Vice Chancellor and Acting Vice Chancellor of University of Delhi. He is one of the leading medical anthropologists in South Asia. He is one of the few Indian anthropologists who is visible in media. He goes beyond the wall of academia and reach out to community to empower and create awareness. He is Prashant Joshi. Prashant Joshi was born in a village called Karakot in the district of Almora in the hilly state of Uttarakhand in the year 1956. He is the second child out of 5. He spent his first 5 years in the village before moving to Delhi. He attended Gandhi Memorial Senior Secondary School in Delhi and took up physics, chemistry, biology as main subjects. While in school, he was actively involved in National Cadet Corps. He wanted to become a medical doctor, but as fate would have it, he landed in the Department of Anthropology, University of Delhi in 1972.
Yes, of course, everybody wanted to be a medical doctor at that time. In those days, either you become a doctor or an engineer. So it is when I went to take admission that I heard about anthropology. In fact, a clerk in science faculty told me that you can take anthropology also. So I went to department and I met, I remember meeting Kamlesh Guha, who was a museum curator at that time. And I talked to him, and Kamlesh Guha was not very good at Hindi, so he talked to me in English and Bangla. So I somehow, got fascinated by talking to him, looking at the museum. So I said, let us take my chance in anthropology here.
He was our student in the department way back in 1972 when he joined the first year, BSc Honours. He appeared for his Master's and later on MPhil, PhD, so many degrees. He did all from the same universities, the same department. And I recollect having taken a batch of students who were just BSc students, very young. We had gone to a place called Chakraverti, who were known as polyandrous. Now, I found PC, at that time he was being called by everyone as PC. I found him very much involved in the field work. He took a lot of interest in what was happening. He went beyond what others were doing. And I found that spark in this young boy at that time, whom we call it now Professor PC Joshi.
Well, I think when I joined the department, I had come from Hindi medium. Yes, English was not the medium of instruction in my schools. So, and when I came to University of Delhi, it became very challenging because people like Professor Mehra and others, they would not even speak Hindi at all. It was very challenging. But I think this challenge was for, first year. And after that, I started overcoming the challenge. I had to work very hard to understand what people are saying, because for us, English was a very, very tough language. And I think by the time I went into third year, the challenge was over.
Joshi, he has been a very shy student from the very beginning, very shy. I taught him in MSc. I taught the mythology of India in MSc previous, but in fieldwork, it was a joint group. Social physical went together in Kashmir. And then Dr. Vardesh Channa, he was leading the social group. So he took them to a village near 30 kilometers from Srinagar. So when they came, so he was one who said, "Sir, humne to wahan kuch nahi khaya." I cooked fish for them, trout, Kashmiri fish. That it was made for the whole group. But the social group came from village. They came and they finished the whole hit. And Joshi was one of.
In the final year of post-graduation, during a viva voce, Dr. K.S. Mathur from University of Lucknow happened to be the external examiner. Dr. Mathur was impressed with him that he offered to arrange scholarship and a PhD seat in Lucknow. Unfortunately, Dr. Mathur passed away and a young PC Joshi returned to Delhi to study MPhil. PC Joshi was awarded with PhD from the University of Delhi in 1985. In the same year, Dr. PC Joshi was appointed as lecturer in Garhwal University, Srinagar.
Well, in Srinagar, it's very challenging, I must tell you. When I joined, I was the lecturer and I was the only person in the department. So in the first year, we had 2 students. And from 2 students, I started. And then I got masters also, restarted there, PhD. And within, I think, 4 years, the students' strength of the department was more than 200.
Apart from building up a new department, he was actively involved in an organization called Friends of Trees. He was able to generate support from students across various disciplines.
And we used to go to, villages to create awareness about environment, create awareness about forest, create awareness about, sustainable livelihood.
The year he secured a job, he got married to Deepa, who became his pillar of strength. They have 2 daughters and a son.
So in India, most of the time when you have arranged marriage, if you have a job at hand, then it becomes easier for you to get married. She is from my own community. Her father was in Air Force. And when I was in Srinagar, I had come to Delhi. It was, I think, in the month of November 85 that I came to Delhi. And my parents said, there is a girl that if you would like to see her. And I went there to see. I said, okay, I'm fine. And I think next month we married on 12th of December. So within a month we got married.
After a decade in Garhwal University, Dr. PC Joshi returned to New Delhi to work in Institute of Human Behavior and Allied Sciences as Associate Professor. While in IBAS, he was instrumental in bridging the gap between the institute and the community. He used his anthropological training to understand how to face challenge of stigma attached to the hospital and mental health. Community program like Khushali Mela was introduced, whereby competitions for children and exhibitions were organized. In the year 2003, Dr. PC Joshi joined the Department of Anthropology, University of Delhi as professor. His work ethics and dedication to the discipline and department earned him respect and adulation.
All our researches are going to be ethically very sound.
My interaction with him is maximum of all the teachers that I had in the department. And he is a go-getter. He just doesn't leave things to fate. He has absolutely no escapism. He never sees that something negative went and he wants to put that blame on others. Nothing like that. He will see 100% that things happen.
Professor Joshi makes you comfortable when you're co-teaching a course or you are doing fieldwork with him. So he's someone who's workaholic, who can sit in a classroom listening to students for 3 hours. He's someone who will ask questions, introduce students to various debates. Students as well as colleagues who have learned anthropology from him, they know that Professor Joshi makes everything look easy.
He's someone who teaches with less words and more with actions. As a teacher also, I have also seen him as an administrator, as someone who is a combination of strictly going by the rules, yet at the same time he actually embodies compassion in his actions. He's not someone who will actually talk about it, but he understands so well his students, he understands so well people with whom he interacts, and in his interactions he is not only restricted in giving guidance to his students, but whosoever actually comes in contact with him.
His way of conducting ethnographic fieldwork has taught me a lot. I've understood the basics of visual documentation. He's taught me academic rigor, discipline, and he has also taught me how to be an anthropologist.
He was also very engaging and innovative in his teaching style. Hard work, dedication, and empathy describes him the best.
In the month of January 2019, Professor PC Joshi became the head of Department of Anthropology. During his headship, he introduced workshops, popular seminar series, webinars with focus on participatory digital methodologies, gender, marginality, cultural diversity, mental health, and so on. One of the biggest international conferences on anthropology of food and health was also organized under his headship. His concern for his colleagues' long-pending promotion propelled him to seek attention of university authorities. In the month of March 2020, when the government announced lockdown due to COVID-19 pandemic, the university suddenly had to resort to alternative platform. Before formal notice was received, the department under the headship of Professor PC Joshi had started delivering live lectures on Facebook private group and completed the syllabus on time.
I think that was a very unprecedented situation for a person like me who actually was not even on WhatsApp. So I had to come on WhatsApp, I had to have a smartphone, use of a smartphone, everything was new for me. I think with the help from you and others in the department, technical teams, I was able to give lectures, online lectures. With Facebook I took some lectures. I was able to do that. And Zoom, I was able to use them. Very exciting. I don't know whether it was exciting for the students also, because it was exciting for us, but maybe it was boring for them. I don't know. And the student never tell you the truth.
In the month of June 2020, Professor PC Joshi was appointed as Pro-Vice Chancellor of University of Delhi. By October 2020, he became Acting Vice Chancellor of University of Delhi.
I take things in a natural way. My teaching, I don't choose that I will teach this or that. So whosoever comes, I teach. And I try to be fair in my dealing with my students and my colleagues. Try to be. I may not, because biases are inherent part of all of us. And sometimes we don't even realize. But I try to be conscious that I should not be biased. I believe in inclusive administration.
There are three things that keep him grounded: sincerity, hard work, and positive attitude. He attributes his sincerity to his involvement in NCC during his school days. He has no regrets with the choices he had made and chances he had taken. As Acting Vice Chancellor of University of Delhi, Professor PC Joshi has been credited for expediting pending promotions in colleges and departments. He has initiated expansion of campus that seeks to link with various remote colleges within the country and abroad. With a clear vision and commitment to serve the university, Professor PC Joshi strides forward, while his colleagues, well-wishers and students root for him and wish him well.